Ma'am, this passport doesn't exist. That's the sentence that stops everything. Not slows it down, not delays it, stops it. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The line behind me keeps moving. Luggage wheels scraping across the polished airport floor, people shifting, sighing, checking their watches. But for me, time locks in place. What do you mean it doesn't exist? I ask, forcing a small laugh like this is some kind of glitch. A simple mistake. The officer doesn't laugh back. He scans it again. Beep, nothing. His eyes narrow, not in confusion, but in recognition. And somehow, that's worse. Where did you get this? He asks, his voice lower now. A question like that shouldn't feel threatening, but it does. I applied for it, I say. Online, like everyone else. He doesn't respond. Instead, his thumb presses something beneath the desk. Click. It's subtle, almost invisible. But everything changes after that. Two security guards appear within seconds, like they were already waiting for this moment. One to my left, one to my right. Now people are staring. Now I feel it. That shift. From traveler to problem. Ma'am, step aside with us, please. My chest tightens. Is there an issue? No answer. Just a gesture toward a glass-walled room off to the side. My suitcase rolls behind me like it doesn't belong to me anymore. And suddenly this trip, this thing I worked 4 years for, feels like it's slipping out of my hands before it even begins. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a moment where everything you believed about your life just tilted? Not shattered. Not yet. But tilted enough that you feel it coming? That's what this feels like. Because here's the thing. You don't end up in a situation like this by accident. And deep down, I think I knew that. My name is Lena Marquez. I'm 23 years old, and this trip right here was supposed to be the first real thing I ever did for myself. No borrowed money, no favors, no one holding it over my head. Just me. 4 years of saving, of skipping things, of saying no when everyone else said yes. 4 years of proving, to who I'm not even sure, that I could stand on my own. And now? A man in a uniform is looking at me like I don't exist. Inside the glass room, everything feels louder and quieter at the same time. The door shuts behind me with a soft click. One of the guards stands by it. The officer walks in a moment later, holding my passport like it's evidence. Sit, he says. I do. My hands won't stop moving, so I press them together, trying to hide it. He opens the passport again, flips through the pages. You said you applied for this yourself? Yes. Any previous passports? No. He nods slowly, then looks at me. Really looks this time, like he's trying to match my face to something in his head. And that's when it hits me. This isn't about paperwork. This is about me. Can I call someone? I ask. Not yet, not yet. Those two words land heavy, because they mean something is happening, something I'm not in control of. And then without warning, my mind drifts. Not to anything recent, but to something I haven't thought about in years. A voice, sharp, cold. You're not family. I blink hard, trying to stay present, but it keeps coming. Fragments, a suitcase, a door. The sound of it closing behind me. The officer says something, but I barely hear it. Because suddenly, this moment doesn't feel random anymore. It feels connected. To things I never questioned, to things I was told not to ask about, to a life that, if I'm being honest, never fully made sense. Then it happens. The door bursts open, not slowly, not politely, fast, urgent. A woman rushes in, slightly out of breath, eyes scanning the room until they land on me. And when they do, she freezes, like she's just found something she's been searching for a long time. Her voice comes out unsteady, but certain. We've been looking for you. For me, my stomach drops. Because in that moment, I realize something terrifying. What if this isn't a mistake? What if this is exactly what was supposed to happen? You're not family. That was the first time I heard it, and the last time I ever lived in that house. I was 19, old enough to work, old enough to figure it out, as my aunt liked to say. But not old enough, apparently, to ask questions. Her name was Carla Reyes, 48, technically my guardian. That's the word she used when it mattered legally. But in that house, I was something else. A responsibility she never asked for. A favor she couldn't stop reminding me about. A charity case. "Don't forget where you came from," she'd say, arms crossed, watching me like I owed her something I could never repay. The truth. I didn't even know where I came from. And every time I asked, and the answers were always incomplete. "Your parents couldn't take care of you. They made bad decisions. You're better off here." That was it. No names, no photos, no stories, just closed doors. Carla had a son, Mateo, 21. And the difference between us, it wasn't subtle. Mateo got patience, laughter, second chances. I got rules. Curfews that changed depending on her mood. Chores that were never enough. That constant tone in her voice like I was always one step away from being too much. Too loud, too present, too there. But the thing is, it wasn't all screaming or obvious cruelty. That would have been easier. No, it was quieter than that. It was the way she introduced me to people. "This is Lena. She's staying with us." Staying. Not living, not family, just temporary, even after years. The night everything ended, it wasn't even about anything big. I got home late. 30 minutes. That's it. My shift had run over and my phone died, and I thought, honestly, I thought it wouldn't matter. I was wrong. She was waiting. Lights on, arms crossed, that look already set. "You think you can just come and go whenever you want?" "I told you, my shift—" "I don't care about your excuses." Her voice cut sharp. Mateo was in the living room, pretending not to listen. "I'm working," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm helping with bills." "And you think that makes you equal here?" She snapped. That word, equal, like I'd overstepped something invisible. Something in me shifted then, because for the first time, I didn't back down. "I live here too." Silence. Heavy. Dangerous silence. Carla stepped closer. And that's when she said it. Cold, clear, final. "You're not family. You never were." It didn't feel real. Like the words didn't land right away. They just hovered, waiting. "What?" I said quietly. "You heard me," she replied. "I took you in. That's it. Don't confuse that with something it's not." My chest tightened. All those years. Every holiday, every dinner, every moment I thought I belonged somewhere. Gone, just like that. "Pack your things," she said. And the scariest part, I could tell she meant it. No yelling, no hesitation, just done. I looked at Mateo. He didn't meet my eyes, so I packed. One bag, that's all I had that was really mine anyway. Clothes, a charger, a few random things. No photos because there weren't any, at least, not of me. When I walked to the door, I waited, just for a second. Now for her to stop me, to say something, anything. She didn't. The door closed behind me with a quiet click. And that was it. No goodbye, no explanation, no one coming after me. Let me ask you something. If someone raised you, fed you, gave you a place to sleep, but never let you belong, what does that make you? The next few months were unstable. Couches, cheap rooms, late shifts. I worked wherever I could. Cafes, retail, cleaning jobs. Slowly, things got better. Not easier. Just mine. But there was always something in the background. Something that didn't sit right. Little things. Details I used to ignore. Like how I had no memories before a certain age. Nothing clear before maybe 7, 8. Like my life just started mid-sentence. Or how every document I had, birth certificate, ID, came through Carla. And I never saw the originals. Never questioned it. Why would I? Until now. Until a man in an airport told me, I don't exist. Back in that glass room, sitting across from a stranger who looks at me like I'm a puzzle, a thought starts to form. Slow, unwanted, but impossible to ignore. What if Carla didn't just lie about loving me? What if she lied about everything? And just as that thought settles in, the woman who ran in earlier steps closer, her eyes locked onto mine. And she says something that makes my entire world tilt again. We need to talk about the woman who raised you. We need to talk about the woman who raised you. That sentence doesn't just hang in the air, it presses down. Heavy, specific, unavoidable. I stare at her. Who are you? She takes a breath like she's been holding it for a long time. My name is Alina Voss, she says. I'm with missing persons. Missing. Persons. Not fraud, not documents. Missing. Something cold slides through my chest. I think you have the wrong person, I say quickly, too quickly. My name is Lena Marquez. Her expression doesn't change. If anything, it softens. And somehow that makes it worse. I know that's the name you've been using, she says carefully, but we need you to look at something. She turns a tablet toward me. For a second, I don't look, because something in me already knows. Whatever is on that screen is going to change things. Lena, she says gently. And I hate that she says my name like it's temporary. I look, and everything in me just stops. It's a photo, old, slightly grainy, a little girl, 7 years old maybe, dark hair, same shape as mine, same eyes, same face. No, I whisper. It comes out automatically, instinctively, because there's no way. There's just no way. That's not me, I say, shaking my head. She just looks like me. People look alike all the time. This child's name is Isabella Voss, Alina says quietly. My stomach drops. Reported missing 16 years ago. 16 years, I'm 23. The numbers line up too cleanly, too perfectly. No, I say again, louder now. No, that's not possible. I have records, I have a birth certificate, I have a birth certificate issued 8 years after your supposed date of birth. She cuts in. I freeze. She continues, calm but firm. Your passport application flagged inconsistencies. That's why we're here. Your biometrics triggered a partial match in a long-term missing persons database. Partial match. Not even full, but enough. Enough to stop everything. I don't understand, I say, my voice breaking now. I've lived my whole life. This is my life. And that's the terrifying part. It feels real. Every memory, every struggle, every moment. So how can it not be? Alina watches me carefully. Not like I'm lying, like I'm unraveling. Who raised you? She asks. And there it is, the question. Simple, but loaded. My aunt, I say, Carla Reyes. The moment I say her name, something shifts in Alina's expression. Recognition. Not surprise, recognition. How long were you with her? My whole life, I answer automatically. Then pause. Because that's not true, not exactly. Since I don't know. I say slower now. Oh, 7? Maybe 8? The number hits the room like a dropped glass. Alina nods once, like a piece just clicked into place. Lena, she says carefully, Isabella disappeared at age 7. Silence. Thick, suffocating silence. And suddenly, everything I ignored, everything that didn't make sense, starts rushing back all at once. No photos before a certain age, no real answers about my parents, documents that appeared, but were never explained. Carla's distance, her resentment, her constant reminder, you're not family. My breathing gets shallow. No, I whisper. No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't do something like that. But even as I say it, I hear her voice in my head, cold, detached. You're not family. Alina leans forward slightly. We're not asking you to jump to conclusions, she says. But we do need to investigate. Investigate. That word makes this real. Too real. What are you saying? I ask, my voice barely steady. She holds my gaze, and then says it. Clear, direct, no softening. We believe the woman who raised you may have taken you. Taken. Not adopted, not rescued. Taken. My chest tightens so hard it hurts. Because suddenly, this isn't just about who I am. It's about what was done to me. And before I can even process that, Alina adds one more thing. Something that shifts this from possibility to something much closer to truth. We need to bring her in. We need to bring her in. That's the moment it stops being a conversation and starts becoming something else. My ears ring. Bring her in? I repeat. You mean what? Question her. Alina doesn't answer right away. And that pause, it tells me everything. This is serious, Lena, she says finally. If what we're seeing is accurate, this isn't just about paperwork or identity issues. I swallow. Then what is it about? She holds my gaze. Potential abduction. The word lands heavier than anything else so far. Abduction. Not misunderstanding. Not mistake. Not confusion. Something deliberate. I shake my head, standing up abruptly. No, you don't understand. She raised me. She fed me. She also never legally adopted you. Alina interrupts. I freeze. That word again. Never. There are no verified adoption records, she continues. No legal guardianship filings that hold up under review, just fragments, documents that don't fully connect. My mind races. But I went to school. I had medical records, all processed through systems that relied on the identity she provided, Alina says. Systems that don't always cross-check deeply unless something triggers them, like an airport scanner, like today. I sit back down slowly, because standing suddenly feels unstable. Why now? I ask. Why didn't anyone catch this before? Because most people don't get flagged, she replies. You applied for an international passport that runs deeper verification protocols. That's what exposed the inconsistencies. So if I never tried to leave, I might have never known. That thought sinks in. Quiet. Terrifying. Alina places a folder on the table. Inside, documents, photos, timelines, pieces of a life I don't remember. There were sightings, she says, years ago. A child matching Isabella's description seen with a woman resembling Carla. My stomach twists. Why didn't anyone? We didn't have enough, she says. Nothing that held, nothing we could prove. Until now? I stare at the photo again. The little girl. Me, not me. I don't even know anymore. What happens now? I ask. And I mean everything. My name, my past, my life. Alina exhales slowly. We need confirmation. I already know what she means. No, I say immediately, shaking my head. No, I don't. It's a DNA test, she says gently. It's the only way to be certain. Certain. Like certainty is something I want right now. Because here's the truth no one says out loud. As long as there's doubt, I can still be Lena. Fully, completely. But the second that test confirms something else, everything changes. My whole life, I whisper. Everything I remember. Alina's voice softens. This doesn't erase who you are. It just explains how you got here. But does it? Or does it rewrite everything? I look down at my hands. They're shaking again, just like at the scanner, just like when this started. And I realize something. This was always coming. All those gaps, all those questions I ignored, all those moments that didn't quite fit. This isn't random. This is the answer. Whether I want it or not, I close my eyes, take a breath, and then I nod. Okay, I say quietly, do it. The room feels different after that, like a line has been crossed, something irreversible. A technician comes in, quick, professional, a swab, a label, a sealed bag, just like that. My entire identity is reduced to a sample. It'll take a few hours, Alina says. A few hours. That's all it takes to find out if your life is real. As the door closes behind them, I sit there alone. No passport, no answers, no certainty. Just one question echoing louder than everything else. Who am I? Really? Who am I? Really? That question doesn't fade while I wait. It gets louder, sharper, more specific. The clock on the wall ticks louder than it should, every second stretching out, heavy with possibility, or maybe inevitability. Have you ever waited for something that could erase your past? Not change your future, erase your past. Because that's what this feels like. A few hours? That's what they said. But it doesn't feel like hours. It feels like a slow unraveling. I sit there replaying everything, every memory, every moment that used to feel solid. Now, questioned. Birthdays, but no photos before a certain age. School forms signed by Carla, but never explained. Stories about my parents, always vague, always shifting. And that sentence, over and over again. You're not family. At the time, it felt cruel. Now, it feels precise. The door finally opens. And I know, before anyone says anything, I know. Alina walks in first, but she's not alone this time. There's a man and a woman behind her. Older, their faces tense, hopeful, terrified. My chest tightens instantly because somehow I recognize them. Not clearly, not consciously, but something in me reacts. Alina doesn't sit. She stands across from me. And for a brief moment, she doesn't speak. That's how I know it's real. Because if it wasn't, she would have said something by now. It's confirmed, she says. 2 words. That's it? Confirmed. My breath leaves my body in a way that doesn't come back right away. The DNA is a match, she continues. You are Isabella Voss. Silence. Not dramatic, not loud, just complete. Because in that moment, Lena Marquez doesn't disappear, but she shifts. I feel it, like 2 versions of me trying to exist in the same space. My voice cracks. I don't remember any of you. The woman behind Alina breaks first, a quiet, contained sound. Not loud grief, but something deeper. We know, she says softly, her voice trembles. But we remember you. That sentence lands harder than anything else, because for them, I never disappeared. Not really. They step closer, slowly, carefully. Alma, like I might break, and maybe I will. Alina gestures gently. This is your mother, Elena Voss, and your father, Daniel Voss. Mother, father, words that never meant anything real before. Now they do, and that's the problem, because I don't know how to feel. Relief, shock, grief, all of it hits at once. I don't know what to say, I admit, and it's the most honest thing I've said all day. You don't have to say anything, my mother replies. Just let us look at you. And they do, like they're trying to make up for 16 years in a single moment. I don't cry immediately. It's not like that. It's slower, heavier, because this isn't just finding something. It's losing something too. Lena Marquez was real. Every struggle, every late night, every step I took to build something from nothing. That doesn't disappear, and even if the name changes. And then, reality comes crashing back in. What about Carla? I ask. The room shifts instantly. Alina steps forward again. She's been detained. Detained. Not questioned, not contacted, detained. We brought her in as soon as we had enough to act, Alina continues. She's currently in custody. My chest tightens again. Different this time. What did she say? Alina pauses, just for a second. Not much, she admits, but enough. And then she lays it out. Clearly, completely. Carla had been working in a community childcare program. That's where I was. One day, she didn't bring me back. No dramatic chase, no witnesses willing to testify, just gone. She moved cities within weeks, started over, created a new identity for me piece by piece. On fake documentation layered slowly enough to avoid suspicion. School records built on top of that. Medical files, everything. A life constructed carefully enough to pass. Until something looked too closely. Me, at an airport, trying to leave. Why, I ask, and this time, no one has a perfect answer. Control, Alina says finally. Opportunity. Maybe something else. But one thing is clear. It was never about love. And suddenly, everything makes sense. The distance, the resentment, the way she kept me close. But never close enough. You're not family. She wasn't rejecting me. She was stating a fact. The legal process starts quickly after that, and it's complicated. I have 2 identities now, one real, one constructed. But here's the thing. The law doesn't erase who I became. I choose my name, not them. I'm not the system, me. And I decide to keep it, part of it. Lena Isabella Voss, because Lena survived, and Isabella was found. Carla is charged. Kidnapping, fraud, forgery. The case spreads fast. News outlets pick it up. Questions get asked about systems, about failures, about how something like this goes unnoticed for so long. Mateo reaches out. Once. I didn't know, he says, and I believe him. But belief doesn't rebuild anything. So I don't respond. My parents, that still feels strange to say, they don't rush me. They don't expect instant connection. They let me adjust, at my pace, and slowly. Something starts to settle, not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Months later, I find myself back at the airport. Same lights, same lines, same sound of rolling luggage, but this time, it's different. When I hand over my passport, new, real, verified. The officer scans it. Beep. He nods. Good to go. That's it. No pause, no questions, no guards. I take it back. And for a moment, I just stand there because this simple moment is something I never actually had before. Certainty. I step forward, toward the gate, not as someone trying to escape a past, but as someone who finally understands it. And for the first time in my life, there's no missing piece, no hidden truth waiting underneath. Just me. Fully, clearly, Lena Isabella Voss. And this time, no one can take that away.